Hello, this is Blue Star, Defender of Equestria, and this is my next Focus On video. Analysis of the new opening for Season 8! Yay! It's definitely really cool that the opening for Season 8 has changed so much, because it really hasn't changed that much. I have to kind of get this out of the way. Some people are like, oh, it's only taken them this long. It's like, how come they didn't change the opening? I'm gonna let you in on a secret that's not really a secret, that Team MLP is very busy. In fact, they're so busy that they actually outsource a lot of the animation to other studios. So, I think it could just be as simple as that, they just don't really have the time to change the opening every year. And, frankly, I don't think they've needed to. In the grand scheme of things don't really change very much in MLP, especially when you look at Ponyville itself. I mean, sure, a mysterious castle appears out of nowhere once in a while, Twilight becomes an alicorn, we get a few new ponies here and there, but it's not like there's massive changes. It's not like one of my favorite shows, Babylon 5, where each season was deliberately made to be kind of like a chapter in a book, and things definitely changed between one season to the next, and it definitely warranted going and making a whole new opening for each season, because using the same opening for every season wouldn't have made any sense. And I think also for MLP's case, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because they have enough work to do as it is. They don't really need any more, and I'd rather have them be working on the episodes rather than changing the opening every year. But anyway, I think it was appropriate in Season 8 to change this opening. And unlike one of my favorite series when I was a kid called Beast Wars, they were smart enough to not use this opening until after all these changes had happened, because in the second season of Beast Wars, long story short, there was this big physical change that had happened to several of the characters at the beginning of the first episode of Season 2. And of course, they reflected that in the season opening. But the problem was that all those changes hadn't happened yet, so they basically spoiled themselves. But anyway, let's get into the actual, in a little bit of analysis. It's not, I guess in a way, it's not really analysis, it's just kind of looking at it, I guess. In some ways, while the animation is definitely all different, for the most part, it's still basically the same opening. It has the same music and basically has the same kind of flow. It starts off with, My Little Pony, with Twilight and the Balloon. I've always kind of liked this part of the opening because it's like, I'm sure all the adults are running for cover when they hear this, but then we go to rock and roll, man! And who knows? Maybe this might be different, who knows? And I've always liked that shot where they go zoom right in, but unfortunately that shot is no more. But they've basically replaced it with the same kind of a shot, and but still, it's just not the same. But oh well, it's nice though. I mean, the thing that is nice about this opening overall is that I think just about all the major characters are included in here at some point and somewhere. Yeah, they might be on screen for like a couple of microseconds, like when Rainbow Dash is flying towards the school. There's Cranky Doodle and I think it was Matilda, Sakura, and I think a few other characters. Yeah, they're only on the screen for tiny little seconds and stuff, but they're there. And I think that was basically the intent of this opening, that they're going to try to include all the major characters. Definitely things are kind of different in this opening, but overall it's still basically the same. It's like we start off with Rainbow Dash going zoom towards the school, and then we kind of pull back to sort of, is sort of the new sort of center of the show now, which is basically the castle and the school. And again, most of the characters are here. I think the first one that caught my attention was Silverstream is in the lake as a sea pony. Interesting. I'm still like, they could change back into sea ponies? How would they do that, and almost why would they do that? But okay. Well, I guess she spent most of her life as a sea pony. I guess she kind of wants to go back once in a while. And I guess that was just an opportunity for them to just put in something a little unusual, I guess. And, of course, Thorax is chasing Ember, which is kind of surprising. That just seems weird to me, but it's also kind of surprising because, yeah, Thorax and Ember are kind of these characters that we don't really expect to see that much. So this could be a sign that we might actually be seeing them a lot more. Another interesting thing is that Big Mac and Sugar Belle are in this shot. I like that. That's nice. I wonder if that means we're going to be seeing a lot more of them. So, there's definitely a lot of friendship and shipping going on in this opening. So, yay! I guess we'll just kind of good, because that's sort of what's happened all this year. This opening has always been kind of a supplemental thing. It's like, oh, we'll add a new background, we'll add a new character, or we'll give Twilight wings. This is the ultimate next step to that, is that, you know, we have all these new characters, a whole new location, and we're gonna basically change everything. And the original opening, Rainbow Dash, is just Rainbow Dash, but here she's a Wonderbolt, and that's great. And that's a great evolution of her character. So, yo! These are still the same old characters that we know and love, but at the same time, this is how they've grown and how they've changed. When we go to Rarity's Boutique, it's like, you know, Sassy Saddles is there, which is kind of cool. Like in the original, she's just by herself, but now Sassy Saddles is here, so yay! Continuing on, is like it just follows the main 6 going through one at a time. Like when we go to each one of the main 6, we've seen how basically they've grown. You know, before they just kind of hung around in, you know, one little place, but now they've gotten to much bigger places. Like, you know, like when they have a whole schoolroom full of ponies to teach. Rarity has a boutique and works with Sassy Saddles. Fluttershy now has an entire animal sanctuary now, so yo! So yeah, all those things are really representing how far the main 6 have come. So yay! It's a beautiful thing. But in a lot of ways, they're actually pushed back. Like, Pinkie Pie is all the way in the background, and you see all the other characters. It's basically, you know, them in the background as the teacher. I mean, they're still doing the same basic things that they were doing in the old opening, except now they're just doing it with all these new characters and in this new location, which is cool. Yo! The picture, of course, but now it's no longer in Ponyville. It's basically now the school, because yeah, it's definitely clear that the school is going to be a pretty important part of the show now. I think that's also another good example of how this shows how the main 6 have changed and how they've evolved. They started off learning lessons, now they are teaching them literally in a school of friendship, so that's kind of cool. And then, of course, the letter gets sent to Celestia and Luna, but now not only is the throne room completely different, but Shining Armor, Cadance, and Flurry Heart are here, so yo! Cadance, Shining Armor, and Flurry Heart are royalty too, and I think that was good that they were included. Originally, it didn't make sense to include them here because they're off in the Crystal Empire, but you never know, maybe they're just having a visit. I really like how Celestia is just looking at Flurry Heart and like almost like coochie coochie coo. No, that's nice. So yeah, so overall I kind of like the new opening, but it's gonna definitely take some getting used to. Everything is basically following the same basic flow. The music is the same, the overall structure and the events that are happening are basically the same, but except this time it's happening with a lot more characters, and there's definitely a lot more little things to like, look here, look there. Yo, Discord is actually in Fluttershy's animal sanctuary, which I think is pretty cool. Yo! So, still overall, I like it, but it's definitely going to take some getting used to, because it's exactly the same music, but things happen slightly differently, and there's definitely a lot more going on. But I think overall, I think it's really good. As Babylon 5 once said, for everything there is a time. And I think the time to change the opening to this extent was definitely now. Because things have just changed so much in the show, and it's just so nice to see how far our characters have come. It's a beautiful thing. Yay! So, that is the ending of my analysis of the opening of Season 8. Yo! So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you for commenting, liking, and subscribing, and until next time, this is Blue Star. Stay strong, and pony on. Blue Star out.